how to make tax-free money legally. Welcome back. Now, in this episode, I'm going to answer your question, how to make tax-free money legally. Now, my name is Ted Thomas. I've been involved in the tax lien and tax deed business for over 30 years. Now, I've discovered some little-known but really lucrative ways to make money. And this is all perfectly legal and is perfectly ethical. So if you'll follow along with me for the next few minutes, I'm going to show you some ways to get money tax-free. Now, when you can have money tax-free, that's free money, let me tell you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Now, this business not only helps the community that you're in other words, the county gets paid, but people get a good deal on real estate that you sell to, so that helps the community, and you're really going to be able to make some money. So this is a way for you to make money in the future that will really take care of you. Now, when I finish this video, there'll be a free course and actually a free gift for you that'll be at the end of the video. But right now, I want to tell you, when I do get finished, I'm going to tell you just before I finish about 2 big mistakes that people make at real estate auctions. And I want you to try to be able to avoid those so that you don't lose money. So let's go and talk about how to make tax-free money and do it legally. Now, the whole idea at these tax defaulted auctions is to buy it low and have a lot of margin between what you bought it for and the selling price. All right, now the selling price is usually close to the market or slightly under the market. So if you can buy a property with 60, 70, 80% less than the tax assessed value, you've probably bought it right. So that's important. So basically, you're probably buying it 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar, and there's no mortgage. So you're in pretty good shape when you start out. Now, these opportunities where you have this huge margin take place all the time. So now, when you're buying a property, that's going to allow you to structure the deal the way you want. So I teach my sellers to, when you want to sell this property, think about selling it below the market, number one. So buy it low and sell it low. And think about doing installment sales. And that'll open up a whole bigger market for you. And you'll be able to get structured money coming in for 5 years, 10 years, and even longer. So it'd be nice to do the work once and only have done the work once and get paid again and again. Now, I work with all kinds of people. Some people are brand new, little guys, getting started. Other people are experienced investors. If you want to make some huge income, kind of follow along and get the idea of what I'm talking about today. Now, can I give you everything I know on one video? No. It's only 8 minutes or 10 minutes long, so just kind of get the idea of what we're talking about. Now, I'm going to give you a little foundational material about the tax lien and about the installment sale and so on, so just kind of follow along and try and pick it up. Now, everything I'm going to give you is legal and ethical. Now, if you remember, this episode, I'm answering the question, how to make tax-free money and do it legally. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. Keep in mind, this is completely ethical, because what I'm talking about is using a Roth IRA, Roth, R-O-T-H, IRA. And if you use a Roth IRA, any potential profit that you make on the way up after you purchased it will not be taxable. Now, folks, if you can make non-taxable money, that means you got an advantage over everybody else, because you're going to make 25, 35, or 50% more than anyone else. I like to use the example, if you made $50,000 in a Roth IRA and you didn't have to pay taxes, probably 25, maybe even 35% above everybody else in earnings. So in other words, you wouldn't have to pay 25% tax. So that's kind of a great deal. Everybody has to pay taxes, but a Roth IRA, you pay a small amount of tax when you start, but all the growth, you don't have to do that. So this really works. So my client, I'll give you an example of my client, we're going to call him RS, okay? Now, he purchased a property on the courthouse steps, lots of other people at the auction, and he purchased a property there, and when he did, there was no mortgage on the property. Now, is that good? That's great, right? All right, he bought an abandoned 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Now, there's a whole story behind it, and the local people didn't want to bid on it. So he bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Now, was it nice? Well, it had been abandoned for 2 years. So when he got there, it was not damaged in any way. Now, Mother Nature didn't take great care of it. It looked to kind of needed to be cleaned up. And so when he opened the door and looked inside, it was completely furnished, no damage. He went in the garage, there was a car in the garage. When he went out to the pool, it was green and full of dirty stuff. But next to the pool was a boat and a trailer. He did all of that for $3,000. That's right. and he did it in his Roth IRA. All right, so then he proceeded to clean up. You understand, he's going to tidy it up, get the lawn fixed, fix up the paint on the outside, wash it down, get some people in to clean it. Had lots of extra furniture in it because it was completely furnished. And so now what is he going to do? Well, he's going to sell it. Well, we teach a lot of people how to sell property, and it's not complicated, but if you want to use a broker, you could do that. But we teach them to put signs out and say on your sign that you'll sell it below market, you'll sell it below appraisal and that kind of thing. And then people know that it's a bargain. All right, so you want to sell bargains to bargain hunters, all right? And there's plenty of people looking for a bargain. You also want to mention on your sign that installment sale is available. Now, everybody understands that because they bought a washer or a car. So you understand contract for sale just means installment sale. Now, that'll attract a lot of people. So let me tell you what happened to my friend Bob. So Bob, he understood this, and he had done a lot of deals, so he knew that sign would attract people. But he didn't stop there. So he used Facebook Marketplace, used Craigslist, used eBay. All those things were very low cost. And if a broker came along, I know he would have used a broker too. But no broker came along. So now he was getting people communicating with him that they wanted to buy the property. So we teach this in our system. You can do all this yourself, and we can teach you how to do it. But this lesson is not about teaching you how to do things. It's about how to get tax-free money. He bought this with his IRA money, $3,000 on the courthouse steps. But let's see what's going to happen. So sure enough, a lady drives by. She sees the sign. She stops. She said, oh, she really liked this house. When was it going to be for the rest of the cleanup? And so he said it'd be a few more weeks, and it'll look nice and tidy. And sure enough, she offered to pay $45,000. Now, it turned out, I didn't get a chance to tell you this, but the tax value of the property was $45,000. So this was perfect. It was going to be following that same system I'm always talking about, buy low and sell low. So he bought it for $3,000. Now he had a $45,000 buyer. Now you and I would be happy with that deal right now, and he was happy with that deal. But then she wanted to do installment sale. So he said, fine, let's talk about that. So she offered to pay him, and he agreed, installment sale, $800 a month. And they decided and were firm on 7 years. So that means he's going to get into his Roth IRA $800 a month for 7 years. Now, you don't have to do the math. I did it for you. The math comes out to be $69,000. So he not only made a profit on the property, but now he's going to make a profit on the actual financing. Are both parties happy? Yes, everybody's happy. The county, the local county, is happy because they got money and get a property back on the tax roll. He's very happy because he's going to get $800 a month tax-free money legally, $800 a month in his IRA. He never has to pay tax for the rest of his life in that Roth IRA. What a way to make money. So you're kind of getting the idea. This is something you want to learn more about. Now, of course, I'll do other videos on this, but I just want to make sure you get the point. You can make tax-free money. Now, has he done a few deals in his IRA? Yes. And now he's learned for a very low price of purchasing, all that profit that he makes can now be tax-free money legally, all right? So this stuff has been around for 40, 50 years. I didn't invent it. We just took it to a higher level, and we teach our clients, buy it low, sell it low, take those installment payments, and sometimes you make like he did. He made well over $50,000. Now, I didn't look at his taxes, so I don't know exactly how much he made, but he made $50,000. If you made $50,000 in your job, you'd have to pay taxes. He made $50,000 in his IRA, passive money, and he doesn't have to pay taxes. So you're kind of getting the idea of what I'm talking about. So purchase using an IRA. It's going to be something you want to learn. There's going to be other classes in the channel so that you can watch those. Here's a guy, bought it for $3,000, sold it for $4,500, took installment sales for 7 years, 84 months. Now, other people take it for longer than that. Some people want shorter than that. It's going to be up to you. You have complete control, and everything is absolutely legal and ethical. I love the installment sale because what they do is give you a huge boost. And if you've done it in your IRA, it's just steady money coming in all the time. I mean, how would you feel with the next $800 a month for the next 7 years? You feel pretty darn good, especially on a low investment like $3,000. So there's where all that tax-free money comes from. I hope you guys are getting a lot. All right, so I'm going to do a couple of questions here in a minute, but I want to remind you at the end of the video, I have a gift for you, so hang in and get that free gift. I'm also going to tell you about 2 big mistakes that are made at the auctions. But first, I'm going to go to those questions. How does he know what the priority liens are? All right, so if you have a pencil and paper, write this down, because I'll oversimplify it in the answer, but then I'll have a video that explains it, okay? The priority of the lien is always decided by time and date, okay? Time and date is what's going to matter, all right? It will not matter whether it was the IRS or whether it was the federal government or whether it was a bank loan. It's always involved with the time and place of when they do it. So it's really, all you have to really think about is when the lien was filed. The first to file is first in place. The first to file is first in place. So just put that down. Okay, I've got one more question. What happens if there's an IRS lien? All right, I'll give you the short answer, and I'll give you the long answer in another lesson. Okay, the short answer is the IRS has a lien on the property, all right? So the IRS lien is not the first lien. Everybody thinks it is. Everybody say the bank lien is first. It's not. The first lien is always determined by the time. All right, so whatever was filed first, and that would be the taxes, that's the first lien. Whatever's filed second will be the second lien. So in most cases, the first lien would be the taxes, second lien would be a mortgage, then the third lien, in this case, would be the taxes. All right, so if the property goes to auction, what literally happens is they'll sell the property at auction, all right, the mortgage will be wiped out, but the county can't wipe out the IRS. So the IRS lien will stay on the property. All right, now this is going to stay there for 120 days, not forever, just for 120 days. Anytime during that 120 days, the IRS can come to you and they can say, all right, we want the property. And if they do, no problem for you. They'll give you back all your money plus some interest. I said they'll give you back all your money plus some interest. All right, now here's the beauty of all this. In 120 days, their lien is just wiped out. That means they don't care about it. They still care against the person, but not against the property. Now, that's the way it works. It's been working that way for 200 years. All right, so let's go to the last 2 things I have to talk about. Now, if you go to auctions, you have to be careful of these 2 mistakes. Mistake number 1, do not buy a property that you haven't looked at. Now, I don't know what could happen to the property, but I know a lot of things happen. Hurricanes happen, properties burn down, sometimes there's damage from a big storm or a tornado, sometimes there's flooding. I mean, this could go on and on. Sometimes, if you haven't looked at it, you might make this mistake. What if you bought next to a chicken farm or next to a barn and it had terrible odors? Well, how are you going to do with the property? People won't buy it from you. So you don't want to do any of those things. So don't buy a property. That's number 1. Don't buy a property that you haven't seen. If you haven't had boots on the ground and eyes on it, forget that. The other thing that you want to be careful of is you want to be careful not to get too excited. People get to the auction and they didn't get the first property, so they start bidding right away. And they're bidding to win. And what are they bidding on? Well, they don't necessarily know, but what they don't know is they don't have an exit strategy. If you don't know what you can sell the property for, don't buy it. Let me say it again. If you don't know what you can sell it for, don't buy it. I see people do it all the time. These 2 huge mistakes cost people a small fortune. I'm Ted Thomas.